Welcome to the deep dive. We are plunging into a topic that, well, it's probably incredibly familiar to so many of you, maybe even a little baffling sometimes.
Oh, definitely.
Dreams about your crush. You know, the ones they pop up when you're sleeping? Sometimes they're amazing, sometimes just confusing, maybe even straight up upsetting.
Yeah, they can be intense.
So what on earth are they really about?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Well, this deep dive is actually custom built. We got a stack of sources from one of you articles, some research notes, all exploring what these nighttime appearances might actually mean.
Okay.
So our mission today is to cut through the noise, really distill the core ideas from this material. We want to help you understand what your subconscious might be trying to tell you when your crush makes that starring appearance.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Right, diving in. There's a really foundational idea that kind of runs through all these sources. Courtney Boyer, she's a life coach mentioned in one piece. She puts it very clearly. When your crush shows up in your dream, it's highly likely because you've just been spending a lot of waking time and, mental energy pinking about them.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and Cynthia Halo, a psychologist, she adds that it's perfectly normal when someone's on your mind that much, especially like right before you fall asleep.
Absolutely. I mean, our dreams are, as Boyer puts it, powerful portals into our subconscious mind. It fits, doesn't it?
It really does.
The sources, taken together, they really paint this picture of dreaming as a fundamental cognitive process. Your brain is basically sorting through stuff.
Definitely desires.
Exactly. Manifesting your desires, your wants, things that have made a big impression. And it's hard not to think of Freud here.
Freud, wish fulfillment.
Yeah, his classic view, right?
Yeah.
Dreams as wish fulfillment, a space where the mind can play out things, desires maybe, that you can't easily get in real life.
Okay, so it's your brain doing its thing. But let's tackle this head on. The really common myth. The sources are super clear on this. There is absolutely zero proof presented here that dreaming about your crush means they're thinking about you.
Right, or dreaming about you.
Or dreaming about you, exactly. The focus, like across the board in this material, is that these dreams are about your mind, your thoughts, your internal world.
That's such a key takeaway. And as we start digging into the different types of crush dreams the sources cover,
Dreams where your crush likes you back, maybe you kiss, you go on a date, share a romantic moment, even have sex.
the wish fulfillment dreams,
Pretty much. They can feel incredibly real and just leave you feeling amazing when you wake up.
they really can. And the interpretations in the sources, they're overwhelmingly positive. But positive about you.
About me, how so?
Well, across several sources style craze your tango, these dreams are seen as strong signs of your own self-confidence, your self-esteem.
Oh, okay.
They're reflecting a desire within you for intimacy, for connection, for a romantic relationship. It's less a prediction, more like your mind creating this powerful fantasy, exploring what that connection could feel like.
Like a test drive for the emotions.
Kind of a longing to feel understood, valued, cherished.
So if I dream we're kissing, it's not a sign it's going to happen tomorrow.
Probably not directly, no.
Yeah.
It's more a powerful sign of how much you want that connection.
Yeah.
Actually, WikiHow points out something interesting here.
Yeah.
If they initiate the kiss in the dream, it often reflects your eager anticipation, like you're really hoping it happens.
Yeah.
But if you initiate, it might mean you feel ready, but maybe a bit hesitant to make that move in waking life.
Huh. That makes sense.
Yeah, the general feeling is these dreams represent your positive hope, your anticipation that maybe those feelings will be returned. Your tango even suggests dreaming that they like you back could signal that you feel confident about your compatibility. Like you think there's a good chance.
So it's reflecting my own optimism.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And Marr adds a layer even to sex dreams. Yes, desire, obviously, but maybe also connecting with some inner vulnerability or acknowledging things you feel are missing in your life more broadly.
That's a helpful way to think about it. Okay, now let's shift gears. The dreams that are less fun.
The anxiety ones.
Yeah. Arguments, rejection, or finding out your crush is dating someone else. These can feel genuinely awful.
They really tap into our insecurities, don't they? If you're arguing with your crush in a dream, the sources give a few possibilities.
Like what?
Style craze suggests it could mean you're subconsciously done with the crush, ready to move on. But more often, it points to unresolved feelings.
Okay.
Or maybe dissatisfaction with how you think they see you. Or just that basic fear of rejection.
Communication breakdown.
That too. Several sources see argument dreams as symbolizing communication barriers, frustration. Maybe you're finding it hard to say what you really feel. Or you want to tell them, but just don't know how.
That rings true.
WikiHow also throws in incompatibility as a possibility, or maybe just feeling annoyed that you can't seem to get their attention.
And the rejection dream itself, that feels like a direct punch.
It absolutely does.
Mm-hmm.
The sources, especially your Tango and WikiHow, really connect rejection dreams strongly to your own fear and insecurity when you're awake.
So it's about me, not them.
Pretty much. Your Tango suggests it might mean you're doubting your own good qualities. WikiHow adds it's common if you're unsure how they feel, especially if you're thinking about, confessing.
But it doesn't mean they will reject me.
Crucially, no. The sources repeat that.
Yeah.
It usually reflects your lack of confidence or your anxiety about it, not predicting reality.
Okay, that's reassuring. What about seeing them with someone else? That classic nightmare scenario.
Ugh, yeah. Dreaming your crush is dating someone else or like someone else. According to your Tango and WikiHow, that's often a direct mirror.
A mirror of what?
Jealousy or insecurity you feel. It's tied right back to that fear of rejection again.
So it's my stuff.
Yeah. And WikiHow points out it could even tap into a deeper fear of abandonment, maybe not just by the crush, but more generally, like with friends or family, or simply feeling jealous of anyone else getting their attention.
Wow, okay. Now, for some curveballs, what about dreaming about an old crush? Or a total stranger? Or even, weirdly, someone you actually dislike?
Yeah, this could feel really confusing, right? Counterintuitive.
Totally. So, the old crush, does it mean I'm still hung up on them?
Not necessarily that you want them back. Style Craze and WikiHow suggest it might just mean you haven't fully processed those past feelings. Or maybe they represent unresolved stuff from that period of your life. If you're single now, Style Craze says it could link to feelings of yearning or loneliness. If you're in a relationship, it might hint that something's missing or you're a bit unsatisfied.
Or maybe it's just nostalgia.
Could be. One person in Style Craze mentioned it just representing fond memories, like childhood innocence. Your Tango adds another layer. Old crushes and dreams might represent people now who remind you of them or past experiences. The feeling of the dream is key.
Positive versus negative.
Right. Positive might mean good things coming. Negative could signal fear about something.
Okay, what about the stranger crush? That feels really random.
It often seems to point inward toward your readiness for something new. Style Craze suggests it could mean you're subconsciously ready for a new relationship or just eager to meet new people.
What if I'm already in a relationship?
Well, if you dream of a stranger crush, then Style Craze links that to feeling unsatisfied, maybe. Your Tango adds it could represent feeling like opportunities are out of reach or feeling vulnerable socially.
Or the opposite.
Yeah. Conversely, it might signal you...
Grudging respect.
Exactly. Your Tango uses that exact phrase.
Yeah.
Grudging respect for traits you might secretly wish you had yourself. Your brain's just highlighting something you value.
Fascinating. Okay, this next one sounds really bad, but the sources suggest maybe it isn't. Dreams about your crush dying.
Yeah, that sounds alarming, but the interpretation is often symbolic. Across Style Craze, your Tango, and WikiHow, it's frequently seen as symbolizing the end of your attraction.
Oh. So, like, my feelings are dying off.
Precisely. Your subconscious processing that the feelings are fading, especially if nothing's really happened with the crush. And more broadly, death in dreams often symbolizes transformation. The end of one phase, the start of something new.
Like turning a page.
Exactly. Greg Marr in your Tango gives a really insightful take, too. It could mean a part of you needs to die or change. Old habits, maybe, or beliefs, insecurities, stuff you need to let go of to grow.
That's a really different perspective.
It is. Though Style Craze does offer an alternative. It could also stem from a really deep fear of losing them or anxiety about where things might be heading, so context matters.
Right. Context and feeling. Okay, let's totally flip the script. What if the dream isn't about your crush, but about someone else, a friend, a stranger, having a crush on you?
Ah, interesting. The sources suggest this is almost entirely about your own internal state. Again.
Not about them secretly liking me.
Less likely, according to this material. Style Craze does float the idea that maybe you have an unrecognized crush on them.
Oh.
But more commonly, both Style Craze and your Tango link these dreams to how you feel about yourself.
How so?
It could mean you secretly like qualities you possess, and the dream reflects that back through someone else's supposed admiration. Your Tango specifically says it often means you're feeling good about who you are or who you're becoming.
So it's about self-esteem.
Positive self-esteem, confidence, yeah. It could also represent excitement about new opportunities opening up in your life.
What if it's someone I don't like and the dream feels bad?
Your tango suggests that might point towards new beginnings or changes that you're feeling apprehensive about, not thrilled with.
Wow. The sources also touched on a whole bunch of other really specific scenarios too, didn't they? It just shows how varied this stuff can be.
Absolutely. Like WikiHow mentions dreaming your crush sees you lose a tooth.
Yeah. What's that?
Losing teeth in dreams is often linked to anxiety. So if your crush is there, it probably points to insecurity or fear of rejection, specifically around them.
Makes sense. What about dreaming your crush is a gender you're not typically attracted to?
Your tango clarifies this usually isn't about your sexuality changing. It's often about recognizing specific qualities you admire, maybe in a potential partner, maybe in yourself, regardless of gender. Or it could just signal needing a fresh start.
And dreaming about someone else's crush, like my friend's crush or my partner's.
Your tango usually links that back to your own insecurities, personal ones, romantic ones. If it involves your partner's crush, yeah, that could understandably point to jealousy or feeling hurt.
Okay. What about the dream where they text you? I bet a lot of people have that one, or wish they did.
Definitely. WikiHow sees that as a pretty direct manifestation of your desire for real-life communication with them. Simple as that sometimes.
A nudge to reach out.
Could be. Or just your brain saying, hey, maybe try to spend more time together. The sources suggest trying to remember what the text said. If anything, that could give more clues.
Right. There's also that interesting Q&A bit mentioning dreaming about marrying your crush.
Yeah, the WikiHow community answer framed that as reflecting a really deep longing for a significant intimate connection. It symbolizes your emotional investment, your hopes for what romance could be.
And the one about planning to meet your crush, but then your boyfriend shows up.
That same discussion suggested your boyfriend might be seen subconsciously as a barrier. And if you are actually dating someone while crushing on someone else, well, it could suggest you're not entirely devoted to the current relationship deep down.
Okay, this is all fascinating stuff. But here's the million-dollar question again, maybe. How can you, the listener, actually use all this to figure out your own specific dreams?
Right, this is where it gets really practical and powerful, turning these general ideas into personal insight.
So what did the sources recommend?
A really consistent piece of advice across Style Craze and WikiHow is keep a dream journal. Seriously.
Just write it all down.
As soon as you wake up,
Yeah.
every detail you can grab the place, colors, objects, people, how the story went, if there was one. Doing that regularly helps you spot your personal symbols, recurring themes, feelings. It's like learning your subconscious's own language.
And focusing on the feelings is key too, right?
Absolutely crucial. Style Craze and WikiHow both hammer this point. Assess your feelings. Have mindfulness, potentially helping with recall. And another one is setting a clear dream intent.
What's that?
Before you go to sleep, you consciously decide, I want to understand why I'm having this dream, or I want to understand the feelings behind it. That intention can sometimes, focus your subconscious a bit.
And talking about it, does that help?
Definitely. Style Craze suggests discussing your dreams with someone trustworthy who knows you well. A fresh perspective, right? They might spot connections or underlying themes that you're too close to see.
That makes sense.
Ultimately, the big message from all these sources is pretty empowering, I think. Interpreting your crush dreams. It isn't about fortune-telling.
Right, not about predicting the future.
Exactly. It's a tool for self-discovery. Like Boyer and WikiHow both stress, it's about gaining insight into your own inner world. Your emotions, your desires, your fears, your beliefs. It's this unique window into the parts of your mind that aren't always switched on during the day.
So there we have it. We've done a real deep dive into what this collection of sources tells us about those, well, compelling, sometimes confusing dreams that star your crush.
Yeah.
We've seen that whether it's a romantic fantasy or an anxious conflict or a weird appearance by a stranger, the meaning nearly always points back to you. Your thoughts, your feelings, your inner landscape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dreams about crushes, when you look at them this way, they're not just random brain noise. They're potentially powerful reflections of what you deeply desire, what you're insecure about, your hopes for connection, maybe even aspects of yourself you admire but haven't fully owned yet.
So the big question for you listening is, what does all this mean for you? Now that you've heard these interpretations, these tools like dream journaling, reflecting on the feelings, what might paying closer attention to your crush dreams actually tell you about yourself? Stuff you maybe didn't consciously realize. And how could that understanding maybe shift how you think or how you feel day to day? Even if the dream itself doesn't predict a single thing about what happens next in reality, something to maybe ponder the next time your crush makes a guest appearance in your sleep.